And welcome into, let me start that again. 3, 2, 1. And welcome inside the Sanford Coyotes Sports Center in Vermilion, talking USD men's basketball for one final time here with head coach Todd Lee. And Todd, obviously the Summit League tournament did not go as you guys had hoped. You were playing some really good basketball at the tail end of the regular season, so I know maybe your expectations even internally had gone up a little bit going into that game. So what went wrong?
Well, we talked about it. You know, that's a new life for everybody. They had lost 4 in a row at Purdue Fort Wayne, and we had won 4 out of 5. But it doesn't take, you know, that going into the tournament, it's anything can happen. They're a team that's really explosive, and they had a lot of games this year where they looked really, really good, and they did some other games where they got beat pretty bad. Mm-hmm. They came out and just seemed like they made every shot. And you know, I think they started out 6 for 8 from the 3 and made 11 threes in the first half. It's happened one other time in my career, I can think, in 30 years. We made a couple defensive mistakes, but then the other shots that they made, we were contesting. They knocked them down. So I watched the game the next night against Omaha. They go 3 of 15 from the 3 to start the game. And I watched the game, and I said, they had way better looks against Omaha than they did against us. But they were hot, and they can do that. Purdue Fort Wayne's a dangerous team.
Basketball's a funny game that way, isn't it? Just the bounces, and just one night you catch a team on the wrong night, especially a team as capable as they are offensively.
No question.
And sometimes you run into that. But with that, you bring it into your first year as head coach here at your alma mater. And I know it was a bit of a roller coaster ride for you, and there were a lot of factors in play with that. But now that you've had, a week to kind of decompress, how would you assess this first year with the Coyotes?
Well, I was disappointed in the overall record. I thought we would be better in league, but getting back to it, losing Tyler Hagedorn at the beginning of the year was just something that you just can't replace. He's an all-league post player, and he was a guy that we would run offense through. We had designed a lot of our offense through because he had practiced and we were getting ready to start the season, and then he gets hurt, and then we have a couple other injuries, and then we have some bad breaks, and all of a sudden we're playing a really small team, as a small team, and we were playing Trey Birch Manning at the 5, and he's a 6'6", 210-pound 5-man. You can't do that in this league. So disappointed in the season as far as wins and losses. Not disappointed in our guys' effort. We lost a lot of close games, and part of that was just trying to figure out who the go-to guy was at the end of the games. We lost 11 games that were down to the last possession or two. We could have had a much different record if we would have won more of those. Our guys battled, as you said too. We played great at the end of the year, so our guys never gave up, we didn't feel great about how the year ended, and that's a tough way to go.
On top of those things, there was a lot of things that were trending in the right direction at the end of the year. We kind of mentioned that already, but specifically the emergence of Stanley Amude, the continued improvement of Cody Kelly throughout the year, especially once you got into league play. Tristan Simpson really, really came on. And he was always a good player for you, but, he really came on once you made that switch to point guard. Tyler Peterson, really started to play well. He improved his rebounding a lot. He was really getting to the rim toward the end of the year a lot and scoring that way. A lot to be excited about from a personnel standpoint in terms of what you've got coming back.
No question. And then you add Tyler Hagedorn back in the mix, and he's our best player, and he's an all-league post player, and he's going to be a fifth-year senior. And we talked about it before. You win with old guys. You win with old teams. Let's face it, Omaha was old. They had old guys. Purdue Fort Wayne was old. South Dakota State was old. They had their bench that was young, but they have a lot of older guys. We're excited about next year. We feel like Stan Amude, the steps he took this year he had a great year, but he has a reference point now. Last year he averaged one point a game and really didn't get to play. Now we have a reference point. He has a reference point of what he needs to work on and how much better he needs to get, and he knows that. Tristan Simpson, Tyler Peterson, Cody Kelly, all seniors next year that played a ton of minutes, and they're in our top 4 in scoring. So with the addition of Tyler and those guys coming back, we're excited.
Well, you mentioned all those guys right there. Those are great building blocks for you and for this program. That said, what do you need? What pieces do you need to build around them with? What are you hoping to add to this roster by the time you get going?
Well, we signed 3 players early, 2 freshmen, but both freshmen have a lot of experience. They're from one's from Australia and one's from New Zealand. They've played on national teams and they've played a lot of international basketball. So we expect them to come in and be contributors. We did sign a junior college player that's 6'8", 230 pounds. That's a very good rebounder, very skilled player that came from a Division I before he went to junior college. So we expect Richard Polanco, who that is, to contribute right away. So we're looking at some transfers. We're looking at possible junior college transfer, maybe a D1 transfer, to add to what we got. We're excited about what we have, but we definitely can add some athleticism, some toughness, some defense.
Well, I think there's already a lot of people that are excited to see what you guys have, especially with the way that the regular season anyway, ended. A lot of people excited about what's to come here in year 2. But Todd, appreciate your time all season. Certainly
Thanks, Jay.
looking forward to year 2 already.
Thanks, Jay.